the Arsenal valuation for Nketiah, which a lot of Arsenal fans felt a bit offended, and I couldn't understand the rationale. Why should we sell our strikers for cheap? I understand you don't rate him, and I say a lot of Arsenal fans are desperate to get rid of Nketiah, which is fair. He is not of our ilk. He doesn't. He's not that top tier that can take us to the next level, and I agree. But doesn't mean we have to bin him. It doesn't mean you have to bin him. The fact that Nketiah cannot hit at Arsenal doesn't mean he cannot hit at Crystal Palace or Nottingham Forest or the mid-table teams. Nketiah is still a good striker. About his unhappiness, he has about being a professional at elite sports. You have to understand that if you want to retain your starting berth, you have to be the best. If you're not the best, you have to understand that sometimes you might be second fiddle, and it's part and parcel of the game. The game is the game. So I don't care about his unhappiness. So real quick, exclusive from David, Nottingham Forest working on a deal to sign Nketiah from Arsenal, £25 million, including add-ons. Opening bid rejected, but talks continue. Top target striker for Nottingham Forest. Arsenal wants 30 to 35 million pounds. Crystal Palace retain interest, but no current club-to-club talks. One more time, Nottingham Forest are working on a deal to sign Nketiah from Arsenal, 25 million pounds, including add-ons. Opening bid rejected, but talks continue. Nottingham Forest top striker target. Arsenal wants 30 to 35 million pounds. Crystal Palace retain interest, but no club-to-club talks yet. So Nketiah, remember, if you was it a week ago where Olympique Marseille, who were on the hills chasing Nketiah, decided to pivot to sign another striker because they couldn't meet the Arsenal valuation for Nketiah, which a lot of Arsenal fans felt a bit offended, and I couldn't understand the rationale. Why should we sell our strikers for cheap? I understand you don't rate him, and I say a lot of Arsenal fans are desperate to get rid of Nketiah, which is fair. He is not of our ilk. He doesn't. He's not that top tier that can take us to the next level, and I agree. But doesn't mean we have to bin him. It doesn't mean you have to bin him. The fact that Nketiah cannot hit at Arsenal doesn't mean he cannot hit at Crystal Palace or Nottingham Forest or the mid-table teams. Nketiah is still a good striker. Just because you can't make it to Harvard or Cambridge, it doesn't mean you can't make it to FIU, Florida International University. So let's stop that. Let's stop that nonsense. Because the double speaking from the Arsenal fans, not all Arsenal fans, but the subsection of the regional Arsenal fans. One moment you are shouting, Edu can't sell players effectively. Now, when he decides to want to sell players effectively, we should just give our players out, it's not good enough. Now, just because, one more time, Eddie doesn't hit the heights as Arsenal, doesn't mean he can't hit the heights elsewhere. So we are not going to just dump our players out. No, we are going to get the value for our players that if you don't meet our value, we don't have to sell. Eddie has 3 years left on his contract, right? We're not desperate to sell him. Even though he's not good enough, we don't have to be desperate to bin him. So any other club that wants our player, you have to at least meet or get close to Arsenal's valuation for this player. He's still young, right? The English tax is still there. So why should we just bin him? Why? Let me know why you think we just been Eddie because it's not good enough. That doesn't make no sense. So if Oliver Skip Tottenham Hotspur can get 25 million pounds, 20 plus 5 million in add-ons for Oliver Skip, a bomb of a player. Come on, Eddie is worth much more than 25 million pounds. So I support us and I support Edu and Gali for rejecting 25 million pounds for Eddie. Eddie is worth more than 25 million pounds. Call me whatever you want to call me. Is worth more, even though he might not be good for us, doesn't mean he's not good for that team. So let's see how this progresses. There's 10 more days in transfer market. Nottingham Forest are keen on this player, like you can see there. Read it one more time, right? Arsenal have rejected it, but talks continue. So Nottingham Forest are still keen, and according to some other reports, if we are to believe some other reports, Eddie is actually clearing his executive box at the Emirates, meaning there is something more intentional about this deal. That the likeliness of this deal to happen is very, very intentional. So let's see in the next few days how this will metamorphose. Will Arsenal agree and improve offer from Nottingham Forest, or will Arsenal continue to hold on for more? Let's say I think Nottingham Forest will do well to get any Nketiah. It's English Premiership proven, even though there are rumors earlier in the day, Nottingham Forest bidding for Jimenez that plays in the Dutch league. But Eddie is English He's Premiership proven. He's younger, and I think he will score a lot of goals. See the fact that he can hack it, playing against low block at Arsenal. When he goes to Nottingham Forest, I don't expect him to play low block, playing against low block every weekend because Nottingham Forest will not have to face the challenges Arsenal face, and that will bring a bit of more respect to Eddie's name. So let's see as that deal progresses. Guys, you're just seeing my channel for the first time, or you're just stumbling to this channel, please do not forget, one more time, like the video, very, very important. Subscribe if you're new, and do not forget to turn on your notification bell. So let's move to the next bit of news, which is Aaron Ramsdale. In the last few hours, you can see there exclusive by David, 2 exclusives on Arsenal by David in one day. It shows that Arsenal are actually busy more than a lot of our fans think they are. So Wolves make proposal to sign Aaron Ramsdale from Arsenal, initial loan plus buy option, no obligation, buy option. So Wolves will cover majority of 26-year-old goalkeeper's wages. Acceptance as Molineux deal difficult due to finances involved, but talks with Arsenal continue. Even though it should not be a straightforward deal that Arsenal will accept, but as talks continue, maybe Arsenal and Wolves can find a compromise. Like you can see right there, initial loan plus buy option, not obligation to buy. Wolves are proposing they will pay the majority of his wages, which they should. Acceptance as Molineux that deal is difficult due to their finances, but talks continue. So maybe Arsenal can find a compromise regarding this deal. We know Aaron Ramsdale has at least 3 years left of his contract. So even though if Arsenal decide to accept a loan with option to buy, it's not a bad deal because by the time he gets back, he will still have 2 more years left of his contract. Let's see if Arsenal can negotiate obligation to buy, even though there's a tight budget at Wolves. Let's see how that will progress. But we know it's no more hidden news that Ramsdale is not comfortable being number 2, which is his prerogative. He's not comfortable being number 2 at Arsenal. I understand that, but he has to bring in his suitors who are willing to take and pay. Now, even though Arsenal have been sounding it out, we will only negotiate or accept permanent deals. But when it comes to Wolves with option to buy, let's see if there can be something there. We know Aaron Ramsdale is a very good goalkeeper, even though he might not be number 1 at Arsenal. He's good enough to be number 1 at Wolves. He is not a bad goalkeeper. It's just unfortunate we have David Raya, who is a better goalkeeper. So I'm not going to throw any shade on Ramsdale because he's needless. He's a good goalkeeper, just as we have a better goalkeeper than him in Raya. So let's see how this will progress. Do I have the guarantees that Wolves can pull off this because they don't have the money? I don't think so. Will Arsenal have a bit of compromise based on the length of the deal that he has with us? So Arsenal can afford to loan him with option to buy and still retain value. It's possible. So let's see what can happen. So I expect both Ramsdale and Eddie to head for the exit door. Both players, especially Ramsdale, even though I don't care about his unhappiness, he has about being a professional at elite sports. You have to understand that if you want to retain your starting berth, you have to be the best. If you're not the best, you have to understand that sometimes you might be second fiddle, and it's part and parcel of the game. The game is the game. So I don't care about his unhappiness. Sorry, I don't care about his unhappiness, but you can get in suitors who are willing to pay and he can head for the exit door, no problem. So let's see how this will progress in the next 10 days remaining in the transfer window. So I expect both players to leave. Is more emphatic when it comes to Nketiah because he's a striker, and we can tell that Nottingham Forest will need a striker, even though they've bid for Jimenez and they've come to try and see if they can get the Nketiah deal done. I think they'll get the Nketiah deal done because, like I said earlier, is a Premiership proven, so it's less risk than Jimenez, who is coming from Holland. So let's see how it goes. Guys, what do you think? Are you excited? That's more money for Arsenal. Those who have been accusing Arsenal of being slow instead of selling players, Edu of being nonchalant and being a novice instead of selling players, you can't do that because these things are controlled sometimes by external factors. We are not going to throw and be hawking our players to other clubs. No, other clubs have to take interest in our players. So when analyzing these things, you have to come with good faith analysis. But a lot of people have preconceived notions, and bad agenda against Edu. So it is what it is. So one more time, let me uh, go through the news beats we've had regarding Eddie right there. Nottingham Forest working on a deal to sign Eddie Nketiah from Arsenal. 25 million including add-ons. Opening bid rejected, but talks continue to show that there is optimism on both sides to get the deal done. Nottingham Forest top striker target. Arsenal wants 30 to 35 million pounds. Crystal Palace retain interest, but no club to club talks regarding Crystal Palace retaining interest in Eddie Nketiah. Then sorry, I got the wrong slide. Let me go to the right slide regarding Ramsdale. So the second bit of news is this: Wolves make proposal to sign a Ramsdale from Arsenal. Initial loan plus option to buy. Wolves could cover majority of goalkeepers' wages. Acceptance at Molineux deal could be difficult due to tight finances, but talks continue. So even though Arsenal and Wolves understand that Wolves do not have they might not have the right finances to actually fully get this deal on a permanent basis, but they are still talking to see if they can do initial loan plus option to buy next year. So what do you think about this potential exit from Arsenal? Are you excited or you feel some type of way? Let me know in the comment section. So on your way out, make sure you do the needful. Very, very important. Like the video. It doesn't cost you nothing. Subscribe if you're new. And make sure you turn on your notification bell. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this potential exit regarding Ramsdale and Nketiah. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.